Nothing. You can actually do nothing. You can get rid of the relative pronoun. You get rid of it. So listen. When the relative pronoun is the subject, I have two options in describing a person. Who and that. When it is not the subject, it has its own subject. In the adjective clause, I have four options. Who, whom, that, or I can get rid of it. Nothing. Okay? Now, if I'm describing a thing or a place, what are my two options? That and which. No. Be careful. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay? It's a little different. I'm talking about adding information or describing a place or a thing. Now, it doesn't matter, by the way, if it's a that or a which is a subject or not. The only thing I can say is when it has when you're describing a thing, like you see the second one, the article.
Yeah.
Notice whenever they put these parentheses around it, it means it's possible to get rid of it. So the rule still applies. If it has its own subject, even when you're describing a place or a thing, you can get rid of the relative pronoun. Okay?
So I can say the article I read yesterday is...
Yes, you can. Everybody okay? Now, the third thing. Which pronoun do I use, relative pronoun do I use for possession? Whose. How do you spell that? Yep. W-H-O-S-E. And it's for possession. Everybody okay? Alright, and that's always the same. You can't get rid of it. You always got to use the same one. Alright, now, let's take a look at two more. We have a noun of place. Now listen, it is a little different than just describing a place or a thing. Here's why. When you're talking about a noun of place, you're specifically focusing on its
location.
Yeah, its location. Alright? So I put the example up here. Let's see, Francisco, will you read the example?
The town where they live has many parks.
Nice. Okay. So, Francisco, will you come up, underline the independent clause in blue, and then the adjective clause, well, you can leave the adjective clause, I guess.
The independent is...
Yep. Where's the subject?
Yeah.
Verb? Object? Beautiful. Thank you, sir. And now, let's take a look. We've got four possibilities. Ahmed in the back, Elisa?
Yeah.
Read this one.
Where?
Where?
Okay. Where they live.
Where they live, or?
In which they live.
Or?
Which they live in. That they live in.
Good. Do you guys notice anything special about this one?
Yeah. You didn't
Turkey?
use a preposition.
No preposition.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to highlight that. When you use where to describe a location about a place, it never gets the preposition. It's the only one, by the way, that doesn't get a preposition. Turkey, what do you notice about the second one?
They use the preposition for...
Yeah, they put it in where? Front or back?
Back. Both.
Front or back?
Back.
Front or back?
Front.
Front.
Yeah.
And which word follows it?
Which?
Listen, it's the only, when you're talking about describing a place or a location, which is the only relative pronoun you can put the preposition in the front?
Which?
Yeah, which. Okay? If you're describing a person with a preposition, the only one you can use is whom. Alright, and we'll look at that a little bit later.
Why you not for?
What's that?
It's not when I show the preposition. I use whose or just for.
Let's stick to the preposition, the noun of place. Which is the only one that allows the preposition to be on the front? Notice in the second one it can also be, it could be on the back, okay? What about that? Where's the preposition?
In the back.
Always on the back.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, it's going to show up on one of my quizzes. It's going to be on the final exam. I've seen these before on the final exam. And they're going to try to trick you. you have to know what the rules are and the options. Okay? So which one has no preposition?
Where?
What is the only relative where it's on the beginning?
Which?
You okay?
Yeah.
Can I stick it on the beginning with a that?
No.
No. All right.
So both, teacher, for the which.
Yeah, it does both. Which is powerful. Can I do a nothing with a which?
No.
No.
So which we use it by
Which
ways.
can be front or back.
Yeah,
That always on the end. Where, nothing.
sounds good.
You okay?
Yeah.
All right. Now look at the second one. So listen, that's about describing the location. Something about the location, where they live. They live in a location, right?
Yeah.
So that's how that works. And listen, it's not, the preposition here is not the important thing. You don't always have to use in, but when there's a preposition involved, we'll see that there could be a different preposition here. It's just about the placement of the preposition with the different relative pronouns. Okay? Now, let's go to the second category today, the noun of time. Do you have a question? Would you like to read it?
I can't remember the year. In what we visit them for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that
You can use that.
that I can't remember the year.
So-
Explain that in March.
Well, you can use all three. If you look in the book, by the way, come up here. Can you underline the independent clause? And then label the subject, verb, object. Is that right?
No.
The independent clause? Would that be independent clause?
Subject, sorry.
Who can help him out? Who wants to help him out here? Nate, come help him out. Where's the independent clause?
I can't remember. The first the subject and I can't
Come
remember.
underline it.
Noun, subject, and verb. Noun, the object. We visit them for the first time. Has two subjects and two verbs.
You got two clauses though, right? You have an
Yeah.
adjective clause and a main clause.
Yeah.
So can you underline just the main clause? Who can help him? Mana, can you come up and help us out? Underline
really
just
weird.
the independent clause.
The independent.
The independent clause. You can erase the other stuff too.
I think we visit them.
You guys agree? Is that the independent clause? Mohammed, can you help him? That is not correct either. What's the main clause here?
It's, remember someone when you visit them for the first time. I think it is the Vincent clause,
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
the justice.
Yep.
So
So what's the other half?
the Vincent clause, it's all this,
Good. He's right.
because your subject,
Yep.
verb, and then object.
Yeah, good.
Okay,
How about on the other side? Where's the subject, verb, object?
subject,
Yep.
verb, all this verb,
Uh-huh.
and this object. All
Good.
of it's,
That's the object.
an object.
You guys with me? You okay?
Yes.
Good job, Mohammed. Thank you. So, hey, listen. Here's the point. I cannot remember the year. This is dealing with time, isn't it? When, what do you notice? By the way, is there any preposition here?
Yeah, knowledge.
For the
Only one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, new one.
Again, it's the same rule. Which is the only one when you're dealing with time that allows a preposition anywhere. So you can say in which to express a time.
Can I put the before, like which you visit them for the first time?
Can't be by itself. You have to say in which. Okay? So these are strict rules. You can say when, you can say that without a preposition, or you can say in which. But you can't do, or you could get rid of it altogether. And you could just say, I can't remember the year we visited them for the first time. Okay? Are you okay? All right. So be careful. Let's practice. Yes, you have a question?
Can I say it?
How come two subjects, two verbs?
There isn't. This is not a subject. That's an object. Subject, verb, object. Subject, verb, object.
Yeah. How come three in one sentence?
Three what?
Two subject, two verb, two object.
There's two clauses. There's an independent clause. Subject, verb phrase, object. That's your independent clause. And this is our adjective clause over here. You have your relative pronoun, your subject, your verb, your indirect object, and then a prepositional phrase of time on the end. Yeah. Okay. So everything's equal. It's right. Let's go. Turn the page. Let's practice.
So can I say the noun of time or adjective clause? You have two subjects, two verb, two object.